you all? Thank you guys for being here. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a good Sunday morning. Hey, Monkey Biz. Hey, Angel Something. Oh, happy to see you. Hey, Carol Clark. Hey, Linda. Hey, Pointer Lover. Victoria, Preschool Granny. Hello, Tess. Let's see. Adrian, Amelia, Tisha Marie, Kathy, Grumpy. Hey, David. Good to see you guys. How are you guys this morning? What do you have planned for today? Hey, West Virginia Jules. Hey, Deb and PA. We came on early because I have a few things to do today during the day. I have to take the kids to return some Christmas presents and stuff. So, I thought I would come on with you guys. I'm having my morning coffee. I'm having a cigarette right now. As soon as I'm done, we'll just chat for a minute and then we'll get into it. Hey, Positive Vibes. Hey, Luz and Pina. Hey, Spicy Sugar. Belinda. Hello, Adrian. Cotton Candy Boobs. Hey, Daniel. So, I have to take the kids to return some Christmas stuff and all of that. And I was looking and I saw a few things that we hadn't talked about over here yet that I wanted to talk to you about. Also, Icked had the neighbor of Christopher call in, and that was quite interesting. So we have a few things to go through. Hey, Kayan. Well, let me show you what we're going to look at. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my messenger. There was an article put out by that San Antonio Express News. You have to pay to see their articles, but there were some details, just some little things about Savannah and some very good images they got. I wanted to show you guys. Since I paid for that, I screenshot it because it's on my cell phone and I haven't logged in on the computer. They did find a gun at the suspect's home, and we're going to talk about that. There was an article that came out about that. And then yesterday, though, it didn't come out today or anything. And then also, they were talking about social media and there's a YouTube video I have, but I also have the article. And did it help or hinder the investigation? I really want to talk about that. I found a couple clips from family members that we had not seen on here, at the crime scene and at the vigil speaking out. And then we have the neighbor calling into Icked, and I have that video there. So we're just going to go through that stuff really quickly and discuss it and hang out this morning. Hey, Meg. I was watching Mel stream The Neighbor. It was funny and heartwarming. Yeah, a lot of people messaged me and they really enjoyed it. So I know a lot of you guys are watching the Gypsy Rose stuff. That is the Lifetime thing. I think Jennifer and Jen Lou and Melissa are going to cover that, so that'll be really interesting. Okay. Hey, Nay. Hey, Black Swan. So first thing we're going to get into just quickly is this article from KSAT. They talk about recovering the gun. So I'm not going to watch the video. The gun that was believed to have been used to shoot and kill Savannah and Matthew was recovered at the home of the two suspects charged in the case. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said Friday. McManus and Bexar County DA press conference to talk about some new developments in the murder case. Gonzalez said he doesn't believe that Ramon aided, assisted, or abetted in the murders of Soto or Guerra just days before Christmas. The couple was found in Guerra's Kia Optima. We know that at the 5900 block of Danny K on the afternoon of December 26th. So we hadn't talked about the press. We have the Letitia calls that came out over here on Friday. And then yesterday we were at Jen's. They actually came out Thursday on Jen's channel, so we hadn't talked about any of this here yet. The DA said the fact that Ramon didn't participate in the fatal shootings and at this point only appears to have helped hide the bodies doesn't allow his office to charge him with capital murder like his son, Christopher. Someone can be charged with murder if that person is directly responsible because that person intentionally and knowingly caused the death of the individual, or that person can be charged as a party to a murder, Gonzalez said. As far as we know, there is no evidence to indicate that the father was involved in the murders. Hey, Cray Cray. Hey, Kalada Hope. Yeah, Belinda, she's got some celebrity status going on for sure. She's getting a lot of attention. In addition to capital murder, Christopher Preciado also faces charges of abuse of corpse and alter, destroy, conceal human corpse. His bonds total $2 million. Ramon is charged with abuse of a corpse and alter, destroy, conceal human corpse. His bonds total $600,000. Both men remained at the county jail Friday afternoon, booking records show. So remember, I guess he had been released from the magistrate and that paperwork was out on the internet. So people thought Ramon had been released, just completely released. Gonzalez said his office has 90 days to present the case to a grand jury for indictment consideration. So they're going to do the grand jury, which we had talked about that already, but that's interesting to me, because that's going to keep a lot of details out of the public. And this case has gotten a lot of attention. I mean, we're going to talk about that in this next article about social media. But I also was going to pull up, we've had people, YouTubers, out at the houses where the car was found as well. It's just gotten a lot of attention. It's been all over TikTok and Facebook. There was tons of accusations against people that didn't turn out to be true at all. I mean, how dangerous is that? And I want to know, because we did not watch those videos here on my channel of the Ring doorbell footage. We talked about it briefly, and I told you guys I didn't feel comfortable doing that because we didn't know if it was connected. And also, these are young kids that people were accusing. Look here, I'm very curious, anyone who did show all of that and kind of talk about that young lady that was being accused and some of those kids. Do you feel bad now? Because when you broadcast that out to thousands of people, these kids had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? I don't like that. It's a capital murder case in Texas. It must go to the grand jury. I didn't know that, Daniel. Huh. Hey, Angie, baby. Hey, Crafty Chris. Danielle, good to see you. Okay. I don't know if I'm getting sick or what, but I'm out of breath. When McManus was asked by KSAT reporter Dylan Collier if Ramon Preciado was thrown a towel from another person in his truck prior to wiping down Guerra's vehicle, which appears to have been captured on surveillance video at the apartment complex, the chief said, "That's something we're still looking into. Something that has been brought up in conversation. We're still looking into that." Collier then asked if that meant there could potentially be a third suspect. McManus said, "As the investigation continues, it could be. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it's possible." Now, that is so interesting to me because I think I have a clip of this cut. Let me look really quickly just to see. The towel just appears. There's obviously a person in the car, in my opinion. Hey, Violet, good morning. Let me see here. I take and save way too many videos. Okay, got it. Yes, okay. Forward to. Okay, got it. Hey, Lisa, good morning. Hey, Iffy Angel. So this is just a 5-second clip. Let's go back. Let's go over here for just a second. Back to my messenger. That's where it's at. Watch this. And actually, Melissa Jade is the one who sent this to me. So thank you, Melissa. And you guys, if you haven't checked out her channel, you're missing out. You should check it out. And I'll drop it in the chat in just a second. But watch. As he walks back to the vehicle, the towel moves on its own. You can very clearly see that in this clip. I'm going to let it play back to back for just a second while I drop her channel. Hey, Neat Noodle. I mean, this is just captured. It's the exact second. And there's obviously somebody in the car. And they're obviously helping, right? They're handing the towel to wipe the fingerprints off the door. Hey, Trio Girl Mom. Hey, Allison. So, I mean, watch. As he starts to walk that way, boom, the towel moves on its own. I see it. Yes. This clip that she got, it's just the perfect, because in the longer version, you don't know when to focus on it or when to pay attention. You might miss it, but here you can just see it so perfectly. Allison, you're local. Oh, wow. That's very interesting and pretty cool. I wouldn't mind to be able to show up in person to some of these things, like the court proceedings. Tess, yes. So let's see. Positive Vibe says, if someone is sitting in the back to hand the towel, why wouldn't they be in the passenger side? Was there 3 in the truck? I don't know. There is a third person. Is it true that all this happened in 9 minutes? Jimmy, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything. Like, we went over the arrest affidavit and stuff. I haven't seen it come out officially, anything like that, so I don't know. Hey, Angie. Thank you. Good morning. I still can't really see it. You can't see it, Kathy? Okay, so watch. If you look in the seat of the truck, you can see something white there just laying there. Okay, hold on. Let me go to this. Okay. So if you look here, can you see my mouse? You guys let me know if you can see my mouse. I'm circling something white like on the seat of the truck. Let me go check and see if y'all can see it. Hey, K-Braze. Hey, Roxanne. Prior to the 9 minutes we've been given. I don't know. I think that, okay, you can. Awesome. I think that we have to be careful if it doesn't come from official sources with anything, with any case. And yeah, look at the people. There were people being blamed all over social media that had nothing to do with it. Kids. Okay, so since you can see my mouse right here where this white thing is, look right there, okay? And as this man makes his way back to the truck, he's like halfway back, you'll see it move and kind of lift up. And so watch right there. See? So right here, he's making his way back there. It moves. Again, now it's gone. The white thing is gone. So right here, it moves before he gets back to the truck. I've actually been to the apartments and talked to the neighbors. Oh, wow. That is so cool, Allison. Ooh, I would love to hear about it sometime, anytime. That third person should be charged, same as the dad. I agree. Patricia, did you hear about Gypsy having shot her mom? No, I didn't. And the back of the truck is open too, says Paula. I feel there's more to this, Positive Vibe says. You can see it, Angie. Frisky Jellyfish. I live in Leon Valley, 2 miles away from this house. I have no desire to drive by, but I'm anxiously awaiting every new detail. And yes, another person was in that truck. Yes, Texas Ranger. Somebody definitely hands him something, a towel, and then he approaches the car and wipes his fingerprints off where he touched the door. Yay, Kathy. I'm so glad you see it now. Hey, Unravel. Yeah, there's at least 3. Okay, so we're going to go back to this for just a moment. I got a few things to look at. Get my blood start flowing and pumping. I start getting excited that you guys can see it. Okay, so police on Wednesday said they were not looking for any other suspects at the moment. So again, they were asked about I'll just read the entire paragraph again. When McManus was asked by KSAT if Ramon Preciado was thrown a towel from another person in his truck prior to wiping down Guerra's vehicle, which appears to have been captured on surveillance video, the chief said, "That's something we're still looking into, something that has been brought up in conversation. We're still looking into that." Then he was asked if there could be a third suspect, and he said, "As the investigation continues, it could be. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it is possible." McManus also said that Soto was a participant in the drug deal involving her, Guerra, and Christopher Preciado. There has been a lot of talk about this. So, some people are beside themselves that Savannah was involved in some of this. I mean, I don't see getting upset over that or getting all, it doesn't matter. She still didn't deserve what happened to her. So that's kind of where I stand about it. But okay, so now we're going to go over to this article from KENS5, which is also local news there. And this is about the social media and if it helped or hindered. They also put out a video, but I think that we should read through the article instead of just watching the video. Okay, so the murder of a San Antonio couple has garnered worldwide attention, with tens of thousands of people following developments online. Savannah Soto, 18 years old, was set to give birth to her first child when she went missing. Her body was found alongside her boyfriend, 22-year-old Matthew Guerra, the day after Christmas. According to police, they were both shot to death. More than 24 Facebook groups were created to help catch their killer. Countless people have also posted videos on YouTube and TikTok disseminating their own observations, theories, and angles on what may have happened. So David Smith is a social media expert, and they talked to him, and he says, "We have seen a growth of communities organized around crime." He's also an English professor at the University of Buffalo. He said there's been a significant increase in what's called internet sleuthing. I think the motivation for that comes from several things. First, I think people have a natural human curiosity about stories like this. Most people who get involved in these online communities have the best intentions. They want to help. I think what people are also looking for is a sense of connection with other people, a sense of belonging to a group that has a common purpose. The rise of these groups also tells us something about the pervasive sense of isolation. The Savannah Soto's live case updates group has climbed to more than 24,000 members. Dr. Max Watchel is a forensic psychologist who studied at Trinity University. He says self-assigned digital detectives can either help or hinder an investigation. So we're going to pause for just a second, and I just have to acknowledge, what we have here. This is just the most incredible little community. You guys do. I know that you are here because you want to help, not necessarily here on my channel, but like here watching true crime and getting involved in this stuff. So many of you guys reaching out to help each other when the other one's in need, and just, yeah. So I definitely want to just take a second to acknowledge that, because I am so absolutely proud of this little place. It is, Kathy. It's very interesting. Patricia, it's horrible to think that Dad was looking at 2 dead kids every time he looked in that car. Yeah, it is. One Facebook group has 170,000 in it. Oh my God. Hey, Trulia. Hey, Lynn. That drug dealing game to some people is the only thing they know. You only know what you're shown, each to their own. I say, exactly. And there's been a lot of talk about that too, about the parents of these kids. I don't know. I can see how it's relevant because of the way that they passed. And, people are naturally like, there's more to this, or I don't believe this is it. I can see how they feel that way, but I also could see how it would be harmful. Drug deal. It was pot, marijuana, which is actually legal in many states. Yeah, Midwest Meemaw. Thank you, by the way, because to me, it should be differentiated between, there should be a difference between pot and drugs. But that's just where I stand. Not sure what they're going to do with the dad, but the son has a room reserved here in East Texas at the Polinsky unit. If victims have to be perfect to deserve justice, our prisons would be empty. Exactly. Hey, shake their fist. Aw. Yeah, you're right. It's not legal in Texas. It's the town square at its finest. Social media. That is so true. Okay. Hey, Joneson. Good morning. All right, let's keep going because I do find this really interesting. I think that we can do a lot of damage to some of these cases. And the root, like I said, we had that that Annalisa girl, that her boyfriend, they were being blasted all over social media as being involved in this. We did not play the videos here on my channel, but that don't matter. I mean, I don't think that it makes a difference when there's hundreds of channels that are talking about it. And these are kids. These are kids that are forever going to be tied to this. And, she didn't have the most perfect behavior, but neither did I at that age. I was hell on wheels, like for real. So, I mean, if I had hundreds of thousands of people, if there's 170,000 in that Facebook group, if I had that many people looking at me when I was that age, I would have looked like a damn fool as well. So social media is a double-edged sword. Dr. Watchel, the forensic psychologist, remember, who graduated from Trinity University, he says it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Police love getting tips from the public. They get a lot of leads that way, but in most cases, we end up getting in the way of investigators. In the case of the Soto and Guerra killings, there are examples of both. When police released surveillance video of the suspects, for instance, people zeroed in on what they believed was a third person seen inside the truck. On Friday, San Antonio Police Chief confirmed investigators are looking into the possibility of a third person. So he's showing that, they can be right, but they can be wrong. Now, remember, we just watched that. I'm going to play it again because you can just so clearly see it. Watch right here where my mouse is. You see something white in the seat, and it moves before he gets to it. So that's what he's referencing there. Let me go back. Now, I can't see the chat right now when we're looking at stuff. Just know that, but I will be back to the chat. Before police made the double arrest, though, many shared names and photos of people online accusing them of killing Soto and Guerra. Investigators later said they had been ruled out as suspects early on. The internet has blown up with people sending tips, said SAPD Sergeant I can't say his name, said the police sergeant of San Antonio Police Department. There was a lot of misinformation out there. There have been cases in the past where people have been incorrectly identified as suspects and have had their lives ruined. No matter how well-intentioned people are, it's a phenomenon that definitely has disadvantages. It's dangerous. It is dangerous, especially when we're talking about, linking it to a crime like this, which has also been linked to potentially online by rumor, been linked to cartel and gangs and all this other stuff. Joneson, what was the white thing he was grabbing? It was a towel. He was wiping off the door. And I do think that they've confirmed that it was a towel and he was wiping off his fingerprints. But like you can see him touch the door and he grabs that and wipes where he touched. Hey, Mama 4. Ever since, oh my gosh, Danielle, yes. Ever since Heidi Broussard's husband got hate, I took a step back and try not to do that anymore. That changed my perspective too. I will never forget that. So it wasn't long after Chris Watts, and he was acting the way he was, Chris Watts, in that porch interview. People immediately pegged him as a suspect because he was just acting funky. And Heidi Broussard's fiance Shane did an interview, and he also was very nervous and just didn't seem very comfortable, which most people aren't. They're not used to being on the camera like that. And everybody said he was involved. I mean, it was horrible. And come to find out, he wasn't involved at all. So he was burying, his fiance, having to raise their baby alone, and going through like such a traumatic event, and the whole world is pointing the finger at him, and it wasn't even him. I know, Joneson. There, I will be very surprised if there is not a third arrest. Very surprised. Me, is he saying we're all lonely shut-ins? I mean, I'm definitely a hermit homebody. Thank God for the internet because I get to socialize. Information void can lead to conspiracies. Now, this is so interesting, especially with Idaho. Think about this. We've talked about it. With them putting a gag order on the case, of course, people are going to talk more. So, law enforcement will often withhold information to protect an investigation. However, research from Brown University shows an information void can lead to conspiracies. So, this Dr. Watchel says it's human nature to fill in the gaps when we have a lack of information. That tends to lead to a lot of misidentifications, and it puts these people or those people in real danger. It's very easy to find people's addresses and phone numbers on the internet. All of a sudden, people become the targets of an entire community. Not all cases receive the same response. Watchtel says crimes involving women and children tend to attract more attention. Also, when people can relate to or empathize with the victim, they are more likely to become invested. And I agree with that. There are so many people who have came to me, like in reference to, let's say, Gannon's case, and said, I'm so interested in the case. And when it happened, Gannon reminded me so much of my son. And even for me, I've told you guys that was kind of like my stance on it at the time, because he was the same age as one of mine. But when we can see ourselves in these cases, it does like just draw you to it in a different way. Same thing in Delphi, Daniel says. Images taken with a potato camera and all of a sudden you have a suspect. It's really dangerous. Oh, we love you, Adrian. It just is. And like you as a content creator, it's interesting because you have to like learn and adjust along the way. Like I never want to do content that hurts a case. I never want to do content that hurts anybody who's innocent. And I don't want to make things worse. So, like I've told you guys, I've regretted my coverage of Summer's case in the past because I was really hard on the parents. They still haven't been arrested. Was that wrong of me? And I just think that we have to, it's hard. It's hard to know. Sometimes it's not hard and it's very black and white what the right thing to do is. But sometimes that line gets a little blurred. We aren't lonely shut-ins, KN said. Apparently, we are digital detectives and meet in Allie's chat for a play date. Quentin Simon for me because I have a granddaughter close to his age. By the way, I saw that her jury selection is being pushed to 2025. I know we talked about it whenever I saw it, like on another live, but in case you guys didn't hear. Hey, Rando. Wait, y'all believe in magic on here? What do you mean? Okay, let's keep going. The other thing that is going on here is that these groups tell us more about the anxiety that people feel about violent crimes than the crimes themselves, said Schmid. I don't think many people realize that the number of violent crimes being committed in the U.S. has been steadily declining for a number of years. But the level of public anxiety about becoming a victim of crime has remained remarkably persistent. Now, this is so interesting to me, too, because we have talked about it here on my channel. Are things getting worse out there? Is the world just becoming like, some people are like, oh my gosh, it's the end of times and things are just so bad and it's never been like this bad before. And I've always kind of said, we never had technology like we do now. So now we're just seeing a lot more of it. Like, I don't believe that. And here we see that, yeah. It is declining. The number of violent crimes being committed in the U.S. has been steadily declining for a number of years. Hi, Life at 50. Oh, thank you, Carol. I love true crime and conspiracy. Is this because I'm a hermit? I think we just hear about it more and get more invested. Yep, me too. Okay. Let's keep going because I want to show you a couple things. Okay, so that article that I screenshot had just a few little details I hadn't seen before. And then we also have the Icked Mail video and a few things to go through. So let's continue. So Christopher Preciado, 19, is facing several charges, including capital murder. Meanwhile, his father, Ramon, 53, is accused of helping conceal the bodies. Solving the case hasn't put an end to the comments. In fact, it's had the opposite effect. People are now digging into the suspect's background. The entire arrest affidavit, including the suspect's home address, was posted online. People also continue to share their opinions about the victim's decisions. With all these false accusations, everyone is trying to play detective. Soto's aunt, Valerie Mendoza, had previously told the local news, "I've already removed myself from a lot of social media because of it." His neighbor was live streaming, so yeah, the house would have probably been out there anyway. However, I mean, that's true. We get these court docs.
Locked On NHL podcast.
It's going to come down to Bobrovsky. Like, can that guy be the same player?
We get these court documents, and they do have people's personal information, addresses, phone numbers, birth dates. Sometimes they do. The towel did not move on its own. I agree. I do think there is a degradation of society, in my honest opinion, but it has happened in the past throughout the ages. It will level out again. I was drawn to Landon, too, because when my son was 11, he moved in with his dad. I am agoraphobic and haven't been able to drone 10 years and suffer from panic disorder. I'm sorry, Katie. Daniel says 27 states have enacted constitutional carry laws. Criminals are thinking twice about acting on their criminal behavior. Well, and also technology, not only forensic technology, but hey, Curious Jen, not only forensic technology, but just in general, people having phones, videos, cameras everywhere, security footage everywhere, Ring doorbell footage everywhere. It's every case that we see these days. There's Ring doorbell footage that plays a role. Look at it. Letitia's case, Idaho, this case, but it's all the time now, Hey, Rebellious Rose. Okay, so now I want to take you to over here. One more time for those of you who didn't see it, because we're going back to this folder. Anyways, if you look here in the seat where my mouse is, you will see something move. We know that Christopher is in the driver's seat. Dad is walking to the car. Look, and he ends up wiping it off. But there is obviously a third person in this truck who is aware enough. Let's talk about this too. This third person is not just sure, anybody can be, in the car with you and not know what you're up to, what you're doing. But this person is actively handing him a towel, right? So certainly they probably know what's going on here. Think about that. They're handing him a towel to wipe off his handprints on it. They have this man and his son who's driving a car that isn't his. This person, I believe, knows what's going on. That's just my opinion, though. Okay, so I just wanted to go through some of these pictures. I thought they did a good job, and parts of this article from San Antonio Express News. It's a local news to them, but you have to pay to read it, and I'm not logged into it on my computer. So for those of you guys who don't know, I've just screenshot it and put it in here. I just think they do a good job with their photos. And then they had, little bits of information. So it says, the police chief said misinformation has been blowing up online, but that the Preciados are the only suspects police were looking for. He said many names were thrown out there. They didn't have anything to do with these murders, he said. Soto and Guerra's families immediately went to social media to express relief. Gloria said they caught the MFers that killed our babies. Justice for Savannah, baby Fabian, and Matthew. So this is just little bits of information about Savannah. and about her excitement for the baby, and more about like communication with her and her mom before they were supposed to meet at the hospital that day. So Soto grew up on the west side. She met Guerra through mutual acquaintances when she was 16 and a sophomore at Holmes High School. She dropped out of school soon after. At the time of her death, Soto was working in an elder care home. She was due to give birth to a baby boy before the weekend before Christmas, and she had already given him a name, Fabian. It would be her first child, and she had celebrated with friends and family members at a baby shower. Photos from the event show her and Matthew in a room filled with white, green, and gold balloons in front of a poster that declared, "It's a boy." Soto was scheduled to be admitted to Stone Oak Methodist Hospital at 6:30 a.m. on December 23rd to have labor induced. She never showed up, and calls to her cell phone went unanswered. That evening, her mother posted a message to Facebook pleading for help. "If you see her, please reach out and let me know where you've seen her. I'm worried about her safety. Prayers for my baby girl." Her relatives spent that weekend searching the apartment complex where they lived and putting up missing persons photos. Soto's family described her as outgoing. She was bright and selfless and excited to be a mom. The night she disappeared, she told Gloria Cordova, quote, "Mom, don't be late for Saturday," unquote. So I found that interesting. Two aunts, Laura Cordova and Cindy Martinez, said she matured quickly through her pregnancy. As the date approached, her bags were packed, a room was ready, and she looked forward to her newborn, again telling her mom, "Don't be late." Martinez said she worked, so then they talked to someone who worked with Soto at Brookdale, a senior living center. Soto had stopped working to have her baby, but planned to return. She aspired to become a nurse. Before she disappeared, Soto's mother helped her pack a bag for her scheduled hospital stay, and she had her nails done. Martinez said she has a lot of family that loves her. She's going to be really missed. So that was all from that. Let me just check on you guys for a second before we get into the last thing we're going to talk about. Deb says this was a setup, in my opinion. Hey, Tiff. Jen, when was she supposed to arrive at the hospital to be induced? The couple were going to go alone, or family was supposed to meet them for delivery? She was supposed to be there at 6:30 a.m. on the 23rd, and her mother was supposed to meet her there. Based on that article we just read. Oh my gosh, you guys, my arms, hey Bendy, my arms are so sore from scrubbing my floor yesterday. I scrubbed and scrubbed. Usually I Swiffer, but like the grout from whoever laid the tile, they were very messy and sloppy about it. And it can get dirty really easily, and it's not the kind of dirty that like you can get up with a Swiffer. It has to be like scrubbed. And oh my God, it was a workout, and I'm definitely feeling it. Okay, so we do have a few other little interviews with the family, but I think now we're going to check out this video now. So he has the neighbor of Christopher Preciado calls in. He was actually live streaming on his TikTok account, I think, because that's his TikTok up in the corner. And in this little interview, he references, "Thanks for sharing my TikTok." But he was live streaming, and Ickadmel, shared his links and put it out there. And then he ended up calling into the show. Also, before we start watching, I'm going to check on you guys in chat for just a minute. But first, I want to grab this link for Ickadmel's channel and share it with you guys. I'm sure you guys are subscribed, but if you're not, he has a really great channel. And yeah, he gets information out there quickly. That guy got so much food. They were talking about some of that cray-cray. Wonder the dynamics between father and son. Oh, Amanda, Allie, and friends, I want to be sure you know that you are loved today. Well, we love you back, girl. Thank you. Let's see. Tracy, I'm a professional cleaner. Swiffers are bad for floors. Really? What do they do to them? Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Claudia. Went down too fast not to be a setup. Oh, Lou, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Okay, so now let's just listen for a minute to this Ick and Mel show. If you're not subbed to Ick and Mel, you're doing it wrong. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I agree. And to YouTube, and you guys, the mods, if you want to, you can drop, people's links. Okay, so Katie says this is gruesome, tragic, and unforgivable, but I'm pretty sure it would have happened to them in the near future with that life they choose to live. I put 5% responsibility on the young parents. Well, I mean, that's been a big point in conversation with this. Not only what Matthew was doing and his Telegram and all of that, people got really, which by the way, I think that's been taken down because when I try to go to it, it says that the webpage is not available. It doesn't surprise me. They do that often with cases, accounts will come down and stuff like that. But then we've seen Savannah now be kind of, because of not only what the police have said, but also just online speculation and stuff, her kind of be put into the, under that same umbrella as, having been involved with that lifestyle and stuff like that. And now I've even seen their families and what their families are into being put under that. And I think at a certain point, isn't that unfair? You know what I mean? I do see your point though, Katie. It's part of the risk that you take when you are doing these kind of things. But when we go to the point of talking about Savannah's mom and dad, and you know what I mean, that kind of stuff, I don't know. It doesn't feel fair. Cotton rags are much better to put on a Swiffer. Okay. All right. Let's listen to this for a minute. Don't forget, the link is in the chat. I will drop it again, and I'll also drop some links to some channels that I really love and support and believe in and all that stuff. Okay.
You said you didn't hear the gunshot. Can you tell us a little bit about that area and your neighbors?
Yeah, no, here it's really quiet. I mean, there's just the neighbors. They just keep by themselves. Whenever we come out, if there's neighbors outside, we just say hi or bye, and that's it. Yeah.
So you didn't hear gunshots like the night of the murders. You didn't hear like, oh,
no, because 2 days ago, I heard an owl in my backyard. So and it woke me up. So imagine a gunshot here in front of my house. I could hear it, or two.
So you literally heard somebody say "ow"?
So definitely no.
Right. So you would have heard a gunshot.
Yeah. Yes. There was no gunshots that day that we heard.
And just speculating, I heard you say your theory is you don't even think it happened there. I thought, right?
Yes, no. I don't think it happened there. I think it happened somewhere else. And then they went and took those to the apartment.
So April in the chat was asking, she said, can you ask about the house if it was ever marked up as a crime scene?
No, they never put tape around it or nothing.
Okay, so first of all, he doesn't believe that it even happened there. He thinks he would have heard a gunshot. I mean, I don't know. I think that I would think that you could potentially hear a gunshot, but not necessarily. I mean, look where Gannon lived and all the houses around, and I know that there's some people that think that camera may have caught some of that incident, but I don't think that it's 100% you would hear it. I think that that's interesting, though. Also, another thing that is very interesting to me, they never put up crime scene tape. So do investigators believe that this is the initial crime scene or, that kind of thing? Or did they just not put it up where he saw? because I don't know how the back of the house looks. And I didn't watch this, like his entire stream, the neighbor that was streaming.
Wow.
You could see one of my videos, the first videos I put, that when they went and picked up the truck, they didn't put nothing, no tape, nothing. But there was a crime unit there. The crime unit there was it was the one that was taking pictures and taking all the evidence, because they went inside the house.
Right.
And they took bags of stuff. Yeah. And that crime scene unit was taking pictures of every car, even that little black car that it was spray painted.
And they found the weapon at the house. Remember that. I mean, it was a crime scene. It's just interesting, his observations. Let me see. There was something in chat I wanted to address. Yes, Legendary. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. Appreciate it.
Let me ask you, and I saw the video you posted to where somebody was it seemed like being taken into custody. I don't know if you know, like, is that the mother, the girlfriend, or whatever? That's the woman in the house, I guess.
Well, yes, it's a woman in the house, but they saying that he's not married. They saying that he's his girlfriend. But here, here we know that we don't know, but we know that it's the only girl though. So we think that we thought that it's his wife, but it's his girlfriend.
Okay, that's what I was hearing too. Okay.
Yeah.
Rongo in the chat was asking. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, Rongo was asking, is your neighborhood normally this busy at night?
I was going to pause for that test, but I changed my mind because I don't want to pause too much.
Yesterday, man.
Right.
There's a lot of traffic. Yes.
Kelly was asking, and I know you answered this already, but Kelly was saying, have police come to your house, ask you questions, and do you have cameras?
No. I do have cameras, and they haven't come, asked, or anything.
They might
if
now.
I have videos.
They might now. And by the way, you guys, if you look up here in the top left corner, this is his TikTok. If you want to go follow him, he may go live again. So if you're interested and you have TikTok, I would.
If I seen that Kia car there parked or something, nothing, not even nobody here in the neighborhood. They didn't came and ask us.
Okay. And your camera's outside. It's like motion sensor. It's not always recording.
Yes. No, it's a motion sensor.
So you never saw the Kia at the house?
No. Personally, no.
Yvette,
and I have those cameras that they're not good. And if a car passes at night, I cannot distinguish which car if it's a Chevrolet or a Kia, whatever like that. It's just you just see a car pass or a truck pass.
Okay. Yvette was asking if you ever saw anything strange about Christopher. Did you ever see Christopher?
Yes, he I was saying I see him outside cleaning his car or cutting the grass in the front yard. Yes, in his car, most in his car.
And that car is the one that's marked with baby killer?
Yes,
that's his car.
So did you guys see that? His car, I think I can pull it up in the thumbnail of a JLR video, actually. Someone spray painted baby killer on his car. And remember that in jail and prison, people who hurt children are not treated very well. And we know firsthand, if you've followed with me through the jail files of Letitia Stalk, there were many incidents of people trying to yell at her, scream at her, get to her physically, people going to the guards and saying, look, I can't be in here with her because I want to get out on the date that I'm supposed to get out, and I cannot keep good behavior and be around her. because it would make them so angry. It is interesting, Kayanne. I went back and double checked that right before your comment. That's why I answered it the way I did, because I went back to the article that talks about the gun that was used. It's right here. And I would need to rewatch this press conference, because the day that this came out was we had jail calls over here and stuff. So I'm a little discombobulated. But it says the gun that was believed to have been used to shoot and kill Savannah and Matthew was recovered at the home of the two suspects charged in the case. Wait, in the affidavit, it said that he tried to claim that Matthew pulled the gun, and then, oh gosh, we'd have to go back to the affidavit. Let's keep listening to this, and let me pull that up so that we can be accurate about this. Hold up, because I do have it right here.
Call your doorbell camera company and cancel the subscription. This brand new subscription-free mini Wi-Fi camera provides more security features than traditional doorbell systems.
Yes, because my cameras are pointing. They're not pointed to that house. They're pointed, in the front yard.
Right.
Yeah, and it sensor camera. So if we hear a noise, it's not gonna catch it. Only when something passes through in front of the camera.
Alana says, does the father own the HVAC company? Do both sons work for him? I don't know if he owns. I saw that they have that HVAC company. I thought what was interesting is that you said that, like, on their vehicles, you never saw any advertising. Like, you didn't even know about that.
No.
Okay, so just a second. I want to show you guys. First of all, here is what the car looked like, because it was on Ickidmail's thumbnail. You can see it says baby killer on the car. I wonder if it will let me zoom. Yeah. So that is Christopher's car. And then I did grab the affidavit so we can go back and look about what he claimed, because I want to get it correct. Let's see. Page 2. I think page 3. Your affiant spoke with Ramon, and after Ramon read his Miranda warning. Let's see. Ramon reported meeting Christopher at this apartment complex, who was driving another vehicle. Your affiant spoke with Christopher after he was read his Miranda warnings. Christopher reported Matthew and Savannah drove to his residence to sell Chris marijuana. He went on to provide a version of events that were inconsistent with evidence collected from the scene and from the victim's recovered vehicle. Christopher claimed the male victim pointed a weapon at him, and Christopher was able to manipulate the weapon, resulting in the female being shot. Christopher then stated that had the weapon pointed at him again, and he manipulated the weapon again, resulting in the male victim being shot. Christopher's statement is inconsistent with gunshot wounds suffered by Matthew and Savannah and evidence at the scene. Christopher intentionally discharged a firearm at Savannah and Matthew with the intention of causing the death. So that's all it says. So, we just don't know for sure whose gun it was. The article says it was recovered at the home, and, they said that in the press conference, I believe. And then the affidavit, Christopher claims that Matthew tried to point this weapon at him, but they don't believe his story anyways. So we just don't know. Okay, let's go back to this video with Ickidmail. We're going to watch just a little bit more of this, and then I'll let you guys go.
Yeah, no, nothing. That's why I didn't know they own an AC, company, because it doesn't have the company display on the vehicles.
Tisha Marie was asking if you know if any other neighbors have cameras around you.
From the right height, right side of my house, they do.
Okay.
But the other ones, I don't know. In front of or next to that house, I don't know.
Okay. Tiff said, "Do you know how many people live in the house? Have you seen? Like, what have you seen? Christopher, the father. Who else?
The mom and somebody else. I don't know if it's. I will say.
Is it the mom or dad's girlfriend? I'm confused about that. I mean, but you guys always keep in mind, it doesn't matter what this person says. He's the neighbor. He's not an investigator. He's not behind the scenes of this case. Unless it comes from official sources, we just cannot put that much weight in it. Look at the news that came out before about the guns not being found or about the phones not being found. And you know, when we go back and look, it was worded in a way, I guess they were talking about Matthew's phone, but still, we just come to find out her phone was how they found the perpetrators, you know, so, or played a big role in how they found them. Also, yes, the evidence does not support self-defense. They were clear that they don't believe his statement. So, but I still think the question that Kayanne had was, whose gun was it? Christopher's or Matthew's? And that's why I pulled the affidavit, because he claims that Matthew had the gun first in his statement. So.
It's I seen his girlfriend.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
did Christopher have a lot of friends at his house usually?
So much.
I don't know if you know that.
I was asleep
No.
too.
No.
Somebody said something kind of crazy, but do you think does Carlos think the neighbors were involved?
What do you mean? Which neighbors?
Just I guess she was asking if you think any of the neighbors around there were involved. I don't think so.
No.
Goodness gracious. No. Okay, we're going to stop there. I don't like to play somebody's video anyways. I like for us to look at our own research, articles, court records, documents, whatever. It's interesting to listen to these interviews, though, when it's either a family member of the suspect or the victim or a neighbor or somebody close by. But I know that Ickedman would probably appreciate it if you go over and watch the whole video on his channel. So I'm going to link it in the chat so you guys can go check it out. Oh, thank you, Melissa. That is so sweet. I appreciate that. Okay, let me check your comments. Tiffany, I want to get to the bottom of this, and Babyface Christopher is not the bottom. Chris is the cleanup crew, in my opinion. See, and that's what I was saying earlier. I don't think that their arrest, and it was even mentioned in that article that like rumors and speculation and conspiracies have only gotten worse since the arrest, because they're not convinced. I've seen that a lot. Self-defense, yeah, that's what he claims. Just look up Leon Valley and cameras. The city is well known for them. That's what I'm saying about the times have changed, you know. Kayanne says, I don't believe Christopher is Neo from the Matrix, but I do believe they may have collected the bullet casing and put them in the car to get them away from the scene of the crime. I saw that, Room 22. A man removed the candles, ornaments, and balloons from outside C house. He done it very carefully, so maybe to give to family. I saw that. I think it was JLR who had a video about someone stealing the stuff from the memorial. And I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. It could have been family or someone to give it to the family. Obviously, his story didn't happen. Christopher's story sounds like a video game or a movie, an old Bruce Lee movie. Yeah, it does. It really does. I couldn't be a juror on any of these high-profile cases. I would probably be the lone juror nullifying. Well, before we go, we always do a Twitter search just to see, like, if anything new has came out. And also, I didn't have my laptop before we started. I was doing like grabbing articles and stuff on my phone. And on my phone, I haven't downloaded the app yet, so I can't really access a lot of this. So let's look over here. Jennifer Coffindaffer comments. That's the first one on the top when we search in Christopher Preciado. Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI. Many people like her, many people don't. I don't care how you feel, if you can feel however you want. But let's read what she has to say, just because she has, I always like to hear, like we listened to Judy Ron the other day. I don't think that we should put 100% faith or trust in just because they're ex-law enforcement and they say it, it's true. I've seen also some content creators that are ex-law enforcement who don't always do things I agree with. Thank you, Deb. But when we do hear from somebody with experience like that, I do like to hear their perspective and their, point of view, because I think that it is valuable. So she said, one thing is clear after reading the affidavit. We really don't know what happened. Something is amiss. I want to believe law enforcement when they say only these two are involved, but the towel hand off in the video, ? Also, how in the world did Christopher Preciado take control of Matthew so that he was able to shoot Matthew on contact to his head? No fight by Matthew? Come on, now that's interesting. Savannah was in the car waiting in the passenger side and was ambushed after CP murdered Matthew, it would seem. Drag marks were only mentioned in relation to Matthew's body. Then she says, we only have Christopher's word that this was a marijuana deal. Convenient to say that. All the money and drugs are likely hidden or otherwise disposed of, so we really don't know the details of what happened. Christopher cannot be believed. The math ain't mathin'. Look for more to come to light. See, this is why I like to read these from retired law enforcement. This part of it right here. Also, how in the world did Christopher take control of Matthew so he was able to shoot him on contact to his head with no fight by Matthew? She has a good point. Baby girl says, this is what I've been saying. Chris slid in the back seat and shot Matt, then shot Savannah. Jean, was the candle left burning a flameless style candle, and what's its significance? I think it was a real candle, but I don't know, and it could have significance. Hey, lunch lady. The stippling clearly shows distance and negates any claim the shot to her was that far away, as well as on his wound. I know, Tess. Adrian. Let's see. Maybe he didn't see it coming. No time to fight back. I think he was first too. He would have to be, right? What did Bendy say? Let's see. Ex-law enforcement is qualified to speak on the process based on their experience. They're not privy to specific case information. Exactly. They're valuable in ways, but that doesn't mean that they're going to know everything or get it all right, period. And they're good and bad in every profession, I would like to also know, though, and I think that that's because of her experience in law enforcement, that her mind thinks this way. How did Christopher take control of Matthew to hold the gun up against his head? By appearance, I would think that Matthew probably would stand a good chance at being able to hold his own against Christopher, just in my own opinion. Here is the affidavit for the arrest of Christopher. This answers some questions. I certainly do not believe everything he has stated. She said, also, Jennifer Coffindaffer also said, what is a dope deal gone bad? One side wasn't living up to their end of the deal, and that's a recipe for death on the streets. It shows disrespect. The contact wound tells me Christopher quickly drew and took control of Matthew, able to press his gun up to the side of his head. Then came Savannah and Fabian. She spelled it wrong, but because she was a witness. Why was his pregnant girl there? Because this was a normal way of life, like running by a convenience store for the rest of us. It was normal to go together. This case needs to be a reminder of the tragedy that is happening with our youth and those consequences. Let's look at the latest on Mr. Preciado. I think if it was Matthew's gun, he would have left it with Matthew. Would he if it was the weapon? The murder weapon? Baby girl, we may never know why it happened, but for it to happen in 8 minutes, it was fast. Where does that come from? Because I'm missing that. I've not seen that anywhere. Then Chris moved Matt to the back seat after putting the baby carrier in Savannah's lap. I don't believe Matt would give Christopher his gun to look at. He was more on guard than that. Brandy says, I think it was normal for them as well. Duty Call says, I agree with you that this happened somewhere else, but I add that this also could have initiation into gang. In my opinion, her being there was not expected. The perpetrator, Chris, did this for cred. Oh, it was on the news? Somebody send that to me if you have it, because I haven't seen that yet. Hey, Unseen. Not with his DNA all over the gun, right? Borders Girl says, not just in reference to this case, but it is really astounding at the rate drugs are killing people. Yeah, that is so true. Jen says, I assume autopsies haven't been released and won't be until trial and or pleas and case closed. How would anyone know the exact details of the wounds, weapon direction, plus not seeing the crime scene yet? Well, in the press conference, the chief of police did say it was a contact wound. But Grumpy, just unbuckling a baby carrier would have taken a 19-year-old minutes to do. Aw, LG, thank you. Yours is the only intro I don't fast forward. It's great. I appreciate that. I know many people don't like intros, and I don't really either. But this is what I do. When I go to replay a video, I'll take like my little thing, like at the bottom where it has the bar, and fast forward to where the intro stops, and then just start watching there. But for the purpose of live streams, it's good because people don't necessarily get notified very quickly, and it gives people a chance to get in here. Honestly, most people still don't make it in until 10 or 15 minutes in, and my intro is only 2 minutes long. But, if you're on the replay, it's pretty easy to just fast forward through it. Oh, yeah, that's where I saw that earlier, Michelle After Dark, and I'm going to watch that later. This is talking about these 9 minutes. Evil Exists has a new video on it. Reason why car seat was placed on top of Savannah Soto, ? So they're guessing. Okay. They said this random person on Twitter shares photos of Christopher when he's younger and says, I can tell when a kid will become a problem later on just by looking or talking with them. In this case, just looking at Christopher Preciado had problems back then. Parents just fed him gluten, bought him Xbox and PlayStation game, had no interaction in sports or camping. Well, how do you know? From just the pictures, but also, damn, I feed my kids gluten and they play Xbox. Shit. He's a cute little kid. Let's look at this picture, though, where Dad's younger. It's actually very sad. I mean, he's young as hell, and his entire life is done now. He's done. He will never, I don't care if he takes a plea or anything, he will never see the outside again, in my opinion. We're going to skip past this person's stuff. Here is his graduation photo. The internet just does what it does. Gluten is fine for 99% of people, right? I do know somebody who has, actually I know a couple people, one of my dear friends, but I knew someone growing up who was a family member who had a gluten intolerance, but she had it to the point where like, and it was way back in the day before it was, known about as much. But she had like her stomach was super swollen and she was super skinny. And yeah, she had a lot of issues and very serious reaction to it. He gives the finger at his graduation. Ugh. I didn't see the video. I'm raising 3 psychopaths, Dallas Louise. No, I don't, baby girl. Man, my kids are screwed. You guys are so funny. Raising 3 psychopaths. Amanda Love says, when I was younger, I used to hang out with guys and do some crazy things, but not this crazy as a drug deal. But I can understand why she was in the car doing whatever she wanted to. I did. I've told you guys, I had years and years of using drugs, and I used to hang out with some really bad places, and very easily could have been me. Not when I was pregnant and about to deliver like that at all, but, at other times, yeah. So I can definitely see how you fall into that. It's sad and unfortunate, but when we're young, like even though she was 18, we're still just not mature enough to truly understand the consequences of some of those things, or even you don't even understand what dealing drugs does to people. At this point in my life, I have nothing for a drug dealer. I'm sorry. I just think they are the worst of the worst, because I know like how horrific addiction can be. And I know that many of these people don't even use, and it's just about money. And they're really, hurting a lot of people to make money, just like big pharma, So I don't know. But when I was younger, I didn't see that like that either. That's what it is. Thank you, Kathy. You have it. Wow. I have celiac disease. 1% have celiac. Oh, wow. Many of you guys have it. Yeah, Lynn, I was talking about you when I said one of my dear friends. I wasn't going to name you. Hello, everyone. I've missed you guys so much. Hey, Crackdown. Good to see you. Plunder has the graduation video. Oh, we should watch it really quick then. Because I haven't seen that yet. Is it like just that video? Let me just do a quick search and look for it really fast. And then I'm going to let you guys go because I have to take my kids to return some stuff. Who threw a towel? Oh, I see. She has the graduation video in the thumbnail. So I guess it's in this video. Oh, it's at the beginning of it. Okay, we're going to watch this. Let me grab the link, though. Plunder does a great job. Yeah, I just really enjoy her channel so much. And here we go. Here's the video in full. I bet you it's a great video. It's an hour long. You can go watch it when we leave here because we're about to leave. But the very beginning of it has the graduation thing. The graduation part video, whatever, footage. I can't English today. That is super creepy for real. He's a man, Adrian. He got mad at the applause for him. My son is fine. It's the girls that are definitely psychotic. Oh, I learned last summer when I had a little girl with me for quite a while, and I've had her on and off for years. But I especially noticed it last summer, how different raising little girls is from little boys. I mean, with little boys, it's like nonstop physical chaos. With little girls, it's a little bit of mental chaos. And yeah, it's just, crazy. Okay, let's watch this for a minute. People are strange.
Christopher Ray Preciado.
That was Christopher Ray Preciado, and he didn't look too happy.
Hold up. Okay, let me drop that link again. Haha, I knew you wouldn't name me. Okay. I want to watch that again. Like the way he puts his arms out. Hold on. Like, I don't know.
Christopher Ray Preciado.
That was Christopher Ray Preciado, and he didn't look too happy during
What did he mouth right there? Let's see if she says.
his high school graduation at the lack of applause he got. And it looked like he dropped the F-bomb at the camera. Like, F. Like, what's going on? You guys aren't applauding for me? Is that what Christopher does when he doesn't?
That's what he mouthed? Okay, let's watch it again.
Christopher Ray Preciado.
That was Christopher
Totally
Ray Preciado, and he didn't look too happy during his high school graduation at the lack
It
of.
totally does look like he says the F word right here. Wow. Okay, interesting. So here is that link again for this video. What in the world, you guys? Finally. Oh, let me watch again. Huh. Maybe. That's interesting. One more time. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't think we can be sure, but I could see it being either one. But that is really interesting that you saw that. And yeah, we also have to think about the lens that we view these people through, right? And our preconceived ideas and opinions. You're right, Jen. He is a kid at graduation. We don't know what he meant by those movements, in my opinion, or maybe he was frustrated the cap wasn't staying on his head. Who knows? Wow. So interesting. Like I said, the lens that we view these people through are our preconceived ideas. I appreciated your comments, and I'm going to go back and read them all because I didn't start seeing them until like the fourth one or fifth one because they were numbered. But I definitely want to go back and read them. I thought he looked confused. All right. Well, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I have lots of things to do today. There's the plunder video again. Tonight, we're going to have part 4 of the jail calls. So definitely stay tuned for that. It starts out with Amy Lang. So we know that is the woman who Critical K interviewed. The Glare reviewed it. Many of you guys had seen it that way through the Glare because it wasn't on YouTube. It was on Patreon. And she was the woman who is a true crime fan who got interested in Gannon and Letitia's case and reached out to Letitia, became friends with her, became her power of attorney. You know, many of us get interested in the case and we stand on you know, the side of helping the family and that. And it's just interesting the approach that she took. You know, I don't know. We're going to hear all about it, though. We get to hear their phone call tonight, so I can't wait. Oh, God, true crime, Amy. Yes. So I can't wait for that. I hope to see you guys there. But thank you all for joining me this morning. I really do appreciate it. And, yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Anna said, I have to go get my snow shovel out. Oh, my God, I don't miss the snow. hopefully you get it done quick and you can get back inside in the heat. But yeah, you guys, hey Heather, have a great day. I will hopefully see you tonight and talk to you soon. Make sure to check out the links that I dropped for other channels. Also, all the links to the content that we watched in part. You can go watch Icked Mel's video, Pointer Lover's video, all that stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for everything, and I hope to see you soon, okay? Bye. Oh, and thank you to my mods. I just really appreciate you so much. Thank you. Bye.